As Victoria sat in church that Sunday morning, her Bible open in her lap, her thoughts drifted back to the evening before. She smiled as she remembered the laughter they shared, the easy conversation, and how comfortable she felt around Logan. For a moment, she wondered what all of it meant. Was this simply a friendship? Was God bringing someone special into her life? Or was He teaching her to trust again after everything she had been through? Victoria didn't know what the answers were, but she realized she was okay with that. As she listened to the service, she quietly thanked God for the friendship they had found. Logan had been kind, supportive, and consistent, especially during one of the most difficult seasons of her life. Whether this relationship grew into something more or remained a friendship, she was grateful for his presence. Closing her eyes for a brief moment, Victoria whispered a prayer. Lord, thank you for yesterday. Thank you for laughter, for friendship, and for reminding me that good things can still happen. Whatever your plans are, help me to trust you, one day at a time. A gentle peace settled over her heart. She wasn't worried about tomorrow. She wasn't trying to force an outcome. For now, she would simply enjoy the friendship, cherish the blessing, and leave the future in God's hands. As Victoria stepped out of church, Bible in hand, she heard someone call her name. Turning around, she smiled when she saw her lunch buddy and coworker walking towards her. The two women engaged in hugs and began talking about the service. They chatted about the message, how much they enjoyed it, and before long, the conversation turned to work. With everything that had been happening at the office lately, it was nice to talk about something other than deadlines and investigations. Then her friend smiled and said, "Oh, before I forget, I have some exciting news. I finally closed on my house." Victoria's face lit up. "You did? Congratulations." "Thank you. I'm having a housewarming party next Saturday, and I'd love for you to come." "I wouldn't miss it," Victoria replied. The two women chatted for a few more minutes before heading to their cars. As Victoria walked away, she smiled. It seemed like everyone around her was stepping into a new season, and for the first time in a long time, she felt like she was too. After church, Victoria headed home and decided to make herself something to eat. As she stood at the stove stirring vegetables in a skillet, her phone rang. A smile immediately crossed her face when she saw the caller ID. "Hello, Logan." "Hey, Victoria. Just checking in on you." The two spent the next few minutes talking about the church service and, of course, dinner the night before. Before long, they were laughing and teasing one another like old friends. "I'm beginning to think you enjoy talking to me," Logan joked. Victoria laughed. "Don't let it get to your head." As the conversation continued, she found herself enjoying how easy it was to talk to him. There was no pressure, no expectations, just genuine conversation and a growing friendship. Eventually, Logan let her get back to dinner, but not before promising to call again soon. As Victoria hung up the phone, she shook her head and smiled to herself. Life had been full of challenges lately, but somehow, in the middle of it all, God had given her something she hadn't expected, a friend who always seemed to call just at the right time. Victoria was reviewing reports at her desk when her assistant informed her that the regional district manager was there to see her. Moments later, she found herself seated across from him in her office. The expression on his face told her this was not a routine meeting. "Victoria, we have a serious problem," he began. "Several internal documents containing confidential company information have somehow made their way into the hands of one of our competitors. Victoria's heart sank. The regional manager slid a folder across the table. According to our records, you were the final sign off on these files. Your credentials were used to access the documents, and your department had oversight of the account involved. Victoria looked through the paperwork, confusion written across her face. There has to be some mistake, she said. I signed off on those files, but I never released them to anyone outside of this company. That's exactly what we're trying to determine, he replied. As if the situation wasn't serious enough, the company had also discovered financial discrepancies. Funds appeared to be missing from an account connected to projects under Victoria's department. While she didn't have the authority to move money herself, investigators confirmed that she had access to the account records. On paper, the evidence painted a troubling picture. For the first time since joining the company, Victoria felt the weight of suspicion resting squarely on her shoulders. The regional manager leaned forward. At this point, we are opening a formal investigation until we know exactly what happened. Every department connected to these transactions will be reviewed, including yours. Victoria sat quietly, trying to process everything she was hearing. She knew she was innocent, but innocence and proof were not always the same thing. As she sat in her office, one thought echoed through her mind. How do you defend yourself against something you didn't do? Victoria felt completely out of her depth. Yet deep down beneath the fear and uncertainty, she remembered what she had learned over the last few months. When the facts seem against you, God is still able to reveal the truth. Victoria sat quietly at her desk, trying to process everything she just heard. The missing documents, the confidential information that had some way found its way into the hands of a competitor, the missing funds, the investigation. Then her mind went back to the file she had been unable to locate weeks earlier. At the time, she had thought it was unusual but not alarming. She remembered mentioning it to Logan, and she remembered the two of them praying about it. What she hadn't realized was how serious the situation truly was. Now, sitting in her office, the pieces seemed to be coming together, and none of them looked good. A knot formed in her stomach as she wondered if things might have been different had she reported her concerns sooner. But there was no changing the past. All she could do now was move forward. Without hesitation, Victoria picked up her phone and called Logan. As she explained everything the regional district manager had shared with her, Logan listened carefully. He could hear the concern in her voice and understood the weight she was carrying. When she finished speaking, there was a brief moment of silence. Then, as they had done so many times before, the conversation shifted from fear to faith. Neither of them had all the answers, but both of them knew exactly where to take the problem. And before the call ended, Victoria and Logan bowed their heads together, seeking God's wisdom, peace, and guidance for whatever lay ahead. This reminds me of a scripture that says, cast your cares upon him because he cares for you. Listening to me today, you, yes, I'm talking to you, right where you are. There's a situation that you are going through, and you do not know how to solve it. Today, I want to invite you to cast your cares upon Christ Jesus, because even where you are, it doesn't matter how little or minute the situation seems, He cares for you. Bring your situation to Christ today and watch Him fix it for you. Now, let's get back to the story. That evening, Victoria found herself back in the place where she had cried, prayed, and poured her heart out so many times before. Her secret place, her altar. No matter how much her life had changed, no matter how far she had come, she knew there were some battles that could only be fought on her knees. The weight of the day's events pressed heavily on her heart. The missing documents, the investigation, the accusations, and the uncertainty of what would happen next all seemed too much to carry alone. Though Logan had prayed with her earlier, Victoria understood that she still needed to seek God for herself. Kneeling beside the bathroom vanity, she asked God to reveal the truth. She asked Him to uncover what had been hidden, to expose what had been done in the dark, and to clear her name. She asked Him to show her where the missing files were and help her understand what had happened. But what Victoria didn't realize was that God wasn't going to give her all the answers she was asking for. Instead, He was going to handle the situation Himself. While Victoria was looking for information, God was working on a solution. While she was searching for evidence, God was arranging vindication. And while she was asking for understanding, God was strengthening her for the journey ahead. The battle before her was bigger than she knew, but so was the God she served. Remember today that the battle that you face is not yours. When the enemy comes in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord will lift the standard. He said, He will perfect that which concerns you. He will give His angels charge over you to keep you in all of your ways. Child of God, you, the one watching this story, please know that there are times when God will arise and fight for you. All you have to do is pray and wait on the Lord. He will do the rest for you. The bamboo had finally broken through the surface and is growing. What many people don't realize is that certain species of bamboo can spend 4 to 5 years developing a root system beneath the ground before any significant growth is visible above the surface. During that time, it may appear that nothing at all is happening. Yet beneath the soil, bamboo is preparing for what is to come. Then, one day, it breaks through. But breakthrough is not the end of the story. It's only the beginning. Once the bamboo emerges, it must face wind, rain, storms, and pressure. Yet those very challenges help strengthen it. Bamboo is known for its ability to bend without breaking. Come on now, somebody. Its flexibility is one of the reasons it survives conditions that would destroy many other plants. Much like bamboo, God often works in the lives of His children long before anyone sees the evidence. The prayers no one hears, the tears nobody sees, the disappointments nobody understands, the lessons learned in private. None of it is wasted. While others may think nothing is happening, God is developing roots. He's building your faith, character, endurance, patience, and trust. James 1 and 3 says, knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience. The struggles were not sent to destroy you. They were helping to prepare you. The bamboo shoot that never faces the wind never learns how strong it can become. And a believer who never faces adversity never fully discovers the faithfulness of God. So if life has been stretching you, do not be discouraged. The same God who develops the roots also produces the growth. The same God who allows the preparation season also appoints the harvest season. And when the time is right, what God has been cultivating in private will become visible for everyone to see. Don't you curse what God is growing. What feels like a delay may actually be preparation. What feels like pressure may actually be strengthening. What feels buried may not be forgotten at all. It may simply be growing roots.